North Carolina is a state in the southeastern region of the United States. It is bordered by Virginia to the north, the Atlantic Ocean to the east, Georgia and South Carolina to the south, and Tennessee to the west. Raleigh is the state's capital, and Charlotte is its largest city. North Carolina spans a distance of 503 miles from east to west. This makes North Carolina the widest state east of the Mississippi River. North Carolina's distance from north to south is around 150 miles. North Carolina's total area is 53,819 square miles. The Tar Heel States ranks 28th among the 50 U.S. states in land area. The state has got 100 counties. Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto landed in North Carolina in the 1540s but left without staking a claim. In 1584, explorers traveling for the English adventurer Sir Walter Raleigh arrived at Roanoke Island, North Carolina, and the first English settlement was established there in 1585. The settlers developed a hostile relationship with indigenous people, and Sir Francis Drake took most settlers back to England in 1586. When a rescue ship returned, the remaining few had vanished. 15 men from the ship remained to secure the land for the English. Their bones were found in 1587 by explorer John White, who was sent by Raleigh with 116 English settlers to set up a colony. White left the island to secure supplies, and when he returned 3 years later, the settlers had vanished without a trace, except for the word Croton, scratched on a post that had enclosed the settlement. Although there have been several theories as to what occurred, historians have been unable to find evidence to support any of them. The Roanoke settlement became known as the Lost Colony. In 1629, King Charles I created the province of Carolina from northern Florida to Albemarle Sound. In the 1600s, the first colonies from Virginia began permanently settling in Carolina. By 1663, King Charles II of England granted a charter to start a new colony on the North American continent. This would generally establish North Carolina's borders. He named it Carolina in honor of his father, Charles I. A northern colony was established in the county of Albemarle in 1664, followed by a southern colony with its own government at Charlestown in 1670. North Carolina and South Carolina were officially divided in 1712. Eventually, North Carolina joined the War for American Independence from Britain. 5 battles were fought in North Carolina during the Revolution. In 1780, following the disastrous siege of Charleston, the Battle of Kings Mountain in North Carolina proved a major defeat for the British attempt to secure the southern colonies. North Carolina became the 12th state in the Union when its General Assembly ratified the U.S. Constitution on the 21st of November, 1789. The natural geography of North Carolina is split in 3 sections: the coastal plain, the Piedmont Plateau, and the Appalachian Mountains. Composing nearly half the state, the coastal plain consists of a gently rolling, well-drained interior and a swampy tidewater area close to the coastline. The latter region was the first to be explored and settled. A long chain of islands, the Outer Banks, extends from Virginia to South Carolina, generally consisting of sand dunes that can reach 100 feet or more in height. 3 capes, Hatteras, Lookout, and Fear, the first 2 within national seashores, jut into the ocean in an area known as the Graveyard of the Atlantic, a reference to the many ships that have sunk in its dangerous waters. The inner coastal plain extends 120 to 140 miles westward to the Piedmont, which is a region of rolling, forested hills. The Piedmont Plateau forms the central third of the state, The Piedmont is a hilly region and is the most urbanized and densely populated section, containing the state's largest cities. Due to rapid urbanization over the last 30 years, a significant part of the rural area in the region has been transformed into suburbs. In particular, the cities of Charlotte and Raleigh have become major urban centers with large, diverse, and rapidly growing populations. Elevations in the Piedmont vary from 300 to 1,100 feet above sea level. Isolated mountain ranges are scattered here, mostly on the western side, but few of them reach over 1,200 feet. The Piedmont lies within the southeastern mixed forest region and has many forests. The Piedmont borders the coastal plain at the fall line. An important resource throughout the region is tobacco. Europeans started settling in this region around the 1700s. The western section of the state is part of the Blue Ridge Mountains of the larger Appalachian Mountain Range. Among the sub-ranges of the Blue Ridge Mountains located in the state are the Great Smoky Mountains and the Black Mountains. The Black Mountains are the highest in the eastern United States and culminate in Mount Mitchell at 6,684 feet, the highest point east of the Mississippi River. North Carolina's climate ranges from medium continental conditions in the mountain region, though summers are cooler and rainfall heavier, to the subtropical conditions of the state's southeastern corner. The growing season ranges from 275 days along the coast to 175 days in the mountains. Average annual temperatures range from 66 degrees Fahrenheit in the eastern region to 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the central region and 55 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. July and August are the wettest months, and October and November are the driest. Annual precipitation varies from 46 to 54 inches on the coast and 44 to 50 inches in the Piedmont. 17 major river basins have covered at least part of the state of North Carolina. These rivers can be broadly divided into three groups. In the extreme western part of the state, there are rivers that flow in a northwesterly direction, draining into the Gulf of Mexico through the Mississippi River. In the central part of the state, rivers flow generally southward into South Carolina before reaching the Atlantic Ocean. In the eastern part of the state, most of the rivers flow generally in the eastward or southeastward direction before emptying into one of the sounds that separate the mainland of North Carolina from the Outer Banks. The United States Census Bureau determined the population of North Carolina was 10,439,000 people at the 2020 U.S. Census. The largest cities in the state are Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro, Durham, and Winston-Salem. In 2022, North Carolina's GDP reached $542.1 billion US dollars, representing an increase of 1.8% from 2021. North Carolina's GDP has grown at an annualized rate of 1.7% over the 5 years to 2022. Moreover, North Carolina's trailing 5-year GDP growth ranks it 18th out of all 50 US states. Based on American Community Survey data, North Carolina's median household income was $46,000. It ranked 41st out of 50 states for median household income.